I'm going to do a video on smoking some meat. I have a meat smoker slash dehydrator that I got a little while back. So what I'm going to do is, these are frozen right now, but I'm going to do a video on making some beef jerky because I really like beef jerky. So I got 3 of these. They're frozen right now. I need to thaw them out a little bit, which will take some time. And once that's done, I'm going to cut them up, put them in a marinade, and then go through the process of having them smoke and dehydrate. And I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride, because who doesn't like beef jerky? My wife. But I do, and a lot of other people do, so yeah. There, those are frozen solid, so they're out of the package now. I just threw them on a plate, just a little bit of cellophane over them, and I'm just gonna leave them there for a few hours, let them thaw out. Not completely, doesn't really matter, but just easier to cut up once they're thawed a little bit. Very nice. It's looking like really good meat, so I'm hoping it makes some very delicious jerky. Alright, so while we wait for the meat to thaw, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do up my marinade. So how you smoke your meat, you don't just put bare meat in the smoker. What you have to do is marinate it first, and I normally marinate like 24 hours or whatever, but it's raw and it goes into the marinade. So I have a marinating recipe that I've come up with that I like quite a bit. I've modified it from one I found online. So it's just what you see there: half a cup of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of pepper, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, and 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. So what I'm going to do, take all that, and I'm going to put it in this jar here, and give it a good shake, get it all mixed up. And then when all of the meat is prepared and cut up and ready to go, the liquid and the meat will go into a one of those large freezer bags, and it'll marinate in the fridge for 24 hours. So that I put it in a bag so that it is always in really good contact with the liquid. I can take all of the air out of the bag, and it really marinates very well. And I can take it out of the fridge whenever I want and just sort of move the bag around, get every part of the meat good contact with the marinade. So I'm gonna mix everything together right now. All right, there we go. Get everything in there. So now we're gonna take and throw the top on. Give her a little shake. This is fun with one hand. You're gonna give me 1 second. There we go. That was easy. There. That's pretty decent looking stuff. So that will be, when I put it in the bag, I'm going to try to get all the particles and stuff off the jar as much as possible. And that will be what the meat is in the bag. So I'll just throw that in the fridge, and we will wait until all that meat is ready. Take a little while for it to thaw, so yum. I'm looking forward to it. I forgot a step. I remembered what I did last time that I actually loved. I added a bit of Bullseye Bold Original barbecue sauce into the marinade. Not too much, but just some, and then shook it up and mixed it in. And that really helped with the overall flavor I found of the marinade. So yeah, that's an important step for me personally with how I like it. So I actually have added it to the recipe book so I don't forget. But yes, I'm going to add some of this into the marinade, and then we wait for the meat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a new day. So this has been in the fridge overnight. It's nice and thawed. So I'm now going to cut it up, get it ready for the whole marinating process. So we're going to get that cut up and put into the marinade. So yep, I'm going to grab myself a knife here and get to cutting. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you how I'm cutting the meat up. So I'm doing like a cross-grained cut, right? So here's one of the steaks that I already cut up, and it just makes for a really nice piece of jerky with the grains going like that. So that's how I like it cut up. So I'm just making it into nice strips, and I'm cutting off all the fat. And somebody knows I'm working with meat. He's pretending like he's not watching everything I do. Yeah, he knows. He knows all about it. So yeah, cut it up like this. I'll get it all cut up. All right, so I got all the meat cut up. As you can see, it looks really good. There's some nice long pieces there. I got some leftover fat that I cut off. So we're gonna take this freezer bag, one of those nice thick big ones, and the marinade. We're gonna put it all in the bag and clean everything up. So that's what we're gonna do next. All right. All right, so we got that in the bag. Take our marinade. See if I can make a mess. Trying to pay attention. I'm gonna put a little bit of water in there to get all those bits out. So I'll do that. All right, I got it in the bag. Took out almost all the air, basically. So now that marinade is gonna have full contact with that meat. That meat's gonna darken right up because of the marinade. So I can just like, every once in a while, just move it all around. Every few hours in the fridge, I can just get everything all good and mixed up. It's nice and sealed, but it's good to just keep things moving around, make sure that there's always good contact and the marinade really gets in there. So that is that step, and that's going to be well, what is it, noon. I'm going to start the smoking process first thing in the morning. So it's going to be a little bit less than 24 hours, but it has to be at least 12. That's what's recommended. So that's looking really good. Good stuff. So now, got to get rid of this stuff. Now, who do you think would like this stuff? Let's see if I can find somebody that would like fat. Sit. Come on, sit. Sit. Ooh. You want another one? You're quick on the draw. What about you? Yum, 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 yum. There. Now you guys clean this up for me. Give me paw. Give me paw. Good boy. It's a good boy. Alright, so now we'll get back to you here tomorrow when that is done marinating. Alright, everybody. It's been 24 hours in marinade. So that's what we got. Like I said, if you go back in the video, you can see how dark that meat has gotten. So that marinade has worked. I've moved it around multiple times in the last 24 hours in the fridge. So what the next step is for doing this right, I have to open the bag, and I'm going to get all this stuff out. I'm going to add a bunch of water to the bag, and what you basically do is you rinse off the meat. Now I'm not going to soak it in water because I don't want to pull out any of the marinade. But what I'm looking to do is just rinse off. Let's see if I can get that to focus. I'm going to rinse off, like, I put garlic powder in there and I put onion powder in there and stuff like that, right? So what I'm looking to do is rinse off all of the grind that is all over the meat and stuff like that, because the marinade has penetrated, so it's going to stay on there. So I just got to rinse that off, and then you're supposed to air dry the meat for 1 hour so that it's not soaking wet when it goes into the smoker. It makes for a better smoking process. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to open it up and get some water in there, get things rinsed out, and then lay the meat out. And you guys are going to be able to see how that looks laid out after it's been rinsed and how the marinade worked. I wanted to include this step, so I've added water to the bag just now. Right, and I'm just rinsing that around, and then I'm going to drain it out, probably do it one more time. And that's just going to it's not going to take the marinade out of the meat, but it's going to get all of the stuff off. Okay, so I'm going to pour that out and do it one more time, and then lay the meat out. And now we are outside. Shush. My dog is upset because he's not here where the meat is. So, air dry for 1 hour. I pulled it out. As you can see, that is darkened up a little bit. The wind's going to blow this cellophane around, but that's no big deal. So that's going to air dry for 1 hour. And they also said, well, the instruction manual that comes with my smoker, they give helpful tips, and they said that it's a good idea to start preheating your smoker when you start the drying process, which is 1 hour before you smoke. So here's my smoker. This is the Little Chief Smokehouse smoker, and that is from Amazon. It's made in Hood River, Oregon, and I really like it so far. It has removable racks inside, as you can see, and it has a drip tray, and then you put your wood chips on this pan and it goes onto this element, and there's a little access door for you to go take in and out with it, opening the door and letting all of the heat out. And there's lots of vents for smoke ventilation. And if you want to run it just with the pan but no chips, you can just have a heated dehydrator, which is really, really useful as well. And then I added a hole, just a little drill hole up here, and I put a meat thermometer, a cooking thermometer in there so that I can monitor the temperature of everything inside of the smoker. Just a little modification that I thought was really useful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and put that in there. Open this. Open that door up and put that in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'll get it plugged in. And that'll start preheating. It's pretty windy today, so I'll probably put just a little bit around it just to keep the wind from really blustering bad, but the wind will help this dry out. The timer has started, so yep. Alright, it's been 1 hour. This has been coming up in temperature. It doesn't really come up that fast when it doesn't have any wood burning inside of it, but the thermometer is normally down here like this, so it is coming up. It's warm. This has been air drying, as you can see, so it's got a different type of texture to the outside now. It's a lot more dry, tackier. So that's looking really good. It might look a little light right now, but once that goes into the smoker, it's going to be darkening right up. And shrinking a little bit, but... So we're going to take in... That's nice and hot now, guaranteed. So we're going to get our wood chips put in that. And I'm not going to be able to do this with 2 hands, but I'm going to have to load up these racks. And then I'm going to get the wood chips in there. So let's get that done. Alright. Got the rack full. Got the nice big pile of wood chips made out of alder bushes, which I found quite interesting. So now we're gonna get this front door put on. Like that. And then we're gonna get this put in there. I can't do that with one hand. There. So now we do 2 pans of wood chips. So that first pan is going to burn through, and then the next pan, I'll refill it. That'll burn through. And when that's done, the rest of the time that's on the clock is going to be just dehydration. So what I'll probably do, because it's a little bit windy today, that last amount of time, I'll unplug it and I'll take it down into my basement, because there is no more smoke. It's just heat at that point, and it's perfectly fine. So I'll put it down there so that it is just a better experience for the meat. So we're just going to let this start smoking here, and we'll check back in a little bit. Alright, so that gauge, you can see it's gotten quite a bit warmer in there. It's been about an hour or so. So I check the chips, and they're pretty much burned through. So we're going to swap out for the second pan. And this will be the last pan before we enter the dehydration stage. So what you can do is just pull it out. As you can see, those are pretty near spent for the most part. So all burned through and everything. It doesn't turn all the way to ash because of the fact that it's a smoker. It just sort of turns everything black. I have this bowl here where I keep my ashes, and I keep water in it. As you can see, they are hot. So we'll just refill that. Stick her back in. Let me just sit you over here for a second. I like to get the pan nice and full. Don't want to touch that pan though. Alright. Move you over here. Alright. Temp's still up because I didn't take the door off. And pan's refilled. So now we're going to wait for that pan to burn through. And that's it for now. This is when it gets a little bit boring, because it's just a waiting game. See, when it's smoky, that's what you want, right? For the meat. But on days like this where there's a good breeze, it's hard to take video of it, because it all tends to blow away pretty quick. But this pan here has started to go. Should be able to see that coming out of there, but as soon as it comes out, it blows away. if there's no breeze at all, then you can really see the effects of the smoke in there. But the entire chamber right now is full of smoke doing its job. It's just hard to convey that. You can see it there coming through that vent a little bit. It's smoking pretty good right now. I can see it. But anyway, yeah. So that's the smoking part of the process. This is the last pan, and then we're gonna have dehydration. So yeah, it's starting to smoke really good there now. Good. That's what we want. Alright, so we did the second pan. So now I have it in here, plugged in, concrete floor, not near anything. It's just going to make heat now. That's all it's going to do is dry out. So the remainder of the dehydration time is going to be down in my basement. So now we wait. Okay. It has been 10 hours. It is 11 p.m. The heat is right where it's supposed to be. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pop this out and see if it looks a certain way, because I want it to be, you know, dried out to a certain point. Everything's nice and hot, so that's good. Oh yeah, that looks like jerky to me. Absolutely. Good. So I'm going to pull these out, let them cool a little bit. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I pulled this out. This is just on my dryer because my laundry's in my basement. And this will be the last part of the video. Really happy with how everything turned out. But a few of the racks are still in there, but I just wanted to show you. I'm really happy with how this turned out. This looks like, you know, essentially it looks... One of my favorite jerkies is Jack Link's. And this turned out to be like... Focus for me. There you go. That shiny stuff, that's like the fat coming out of the meat. But these all cured very, very well all the way through. So here's a piece I pulled apart. You can see it's dried the whole way through and it's cured with the marinade. So yeah, I tried a piece. It's delicious. I already know I like this marinade. But yeah, that is, you know, the process to making your own jerky. I really enjoy doing it. It's a lot of work and a lot of prep, but in the end, if you want to do your own thing and make it a certain way, you know, it's really good stuff. And there's limitless recipes out there that you can come up with. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you watched this long, then or skipped here, great. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I said that already, I realized that. Also, yeah, the Little Chief Smokehouse Smoker, I'll put the link for that on Amazon down in the description. So if anyone's interested, I think they have 3 different kinds like this. There's one, this one. There's one the same size, but a top load. And then there's also one that's bigger. And I think it's called the Big Chief. So yeah, I really like my smoker. So thanks for watching.